Today on the show, folks, I'm joined by the director and the producer of the Boonkey Trail, Dante and Alex. So stand by. This is the Carolina Storyteller.
Haunting through with every tale he said so little. Echoes whispered, the night's lost near. For the fire light, our tears collide. Travel like a storyteller, through the fight. Fables of darkness igniting the night of another night.
Welcome to the Carolina Storyteller, folks. I am your storyteller, Jonathan Phoenix. Test something real quick and see if that might be where the echo is coming from. And I think I was right. So we're going to have to work through this. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties coming back to our computers. But joining me today, I have the director and the producer of the upcoming movie, The Boonkey Trail, Dante and Alex. Guys, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you. How was Atomicon?
You know, Atomicon went awesome. You guys were there. We got to have you with us for some of it, and that was a really great experience. Did you guys see any? I saw you guys were at the film festival. Did you guys get any interesting films that you got to watch while you were there?
I ain't get to see too much, but from the little bit that I seen, it was pretty cool. The first one I saw was like a foreign film. It was like they were speaking Spanish, but like it was real well directed. It was real, like the dialogue was nice. And then another one I saw was like a Star Wars type movie. Like they was having lightsaber battles and stuff like that. And like the action was pretty well done, pretty well directed. So I mean, it's a lot of talent in these smaller film festivals. And like I said, I ain't the craziest about Star Wars, but it was that one was dope, and the other ones I've seen was pretty cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a ton of fun. Not just seeing the films, but like meeting some of the filmmakers and the people who are just involved with the community down here in Charleston and then at Trident Tech. And like Dante said, you know, they're really high quality films and very creative people. So it was awesome to see, you know, in a more intimate setting, what you could do as far as brushing shoulders and shaking hands and stuff, and really getting to know some of these people that could help out, you know, not only with the Boonkey Trail, but, you know, just with some other projects that friends have and different things like that. So really finding the film community was kind of our biggest takeaway from Atomicon here, and that was really awesome. Thanks for inviting us, Jonathan.
Oh, no, thank you guys for coming. It was great having you guys there, and I'm glad that we were able to network and get to get so many people together and intermingling. So you guys are working on a film. It's called The Boonkey Trail, and this is Dante's brainchild. Let the listeners know a little bit about what this movie is going to be about.
Okay, so I'll start off by saying this movie is a real, just Afro-surreal horror thriller that's like, you know, all about like the Geechee community that's spread all throughout Charleston and the Low Country, with like a lot of just little things you grow up hearing, and stuff like the Boo Hag, probably the most popular one, and like the Plaid Eyes, and just all these crazy mythological and, you know what I'm saying, like just folktale type stories that are sprinkled throughout this community in particular, along with like some other just crazy stuff that I come up with. But we pretty much follow in these three cousins who are brought together by the death of a loved one, all from Johns Island, where we at right now, and you can see the beautiful background, but sunny Johns Island. But yeah, they brought together by the death of a loved one, and they all kind of got different things going on with themselves. Like Simone, she's a first-time college student in the first couple of weeks, and she's got some of her own struggles that certain haints or spirits kind of latch onto. And then you got Trell, who I was actually on the phone with the actor playing Trail, but he's like he can't sleep at all. He's dealing with these things like he's like life is changing so much from him, he don't really know how to deal with it. And then there's Brea, who I also we just spoke with. Um, she's like very into the whole like lots of spirituality that takes place in the community, like root work and like speaking to ancestors and all that. And then you got Iris, who gets looped in through it, and she's probably got the worst of the worst. She's struggling with addiction problems. She's struggling with she's doing some other stuff that she may not want to do just to keep going, making it to the next day. But her character is interesting because she kind of blends the line between reality and this nightmare world that they get thrown into, and they're pretty much spending the entire night being hunted by these crazy haints and demonic spirits that are really keeping them from trying to get home. So that's a little brief synopsis of the movie right there.
And
And
that's
that's
nope, here I
yep,
go
here.
echoing again. Let me fix that. That's something that I was really drawn to about the movies is you're tying in a lot of the local stories and haunts. So let me ask you guys, what is like the particular way, if you could pick out one particular legend or story from South Carolina, and we'll start with Dante, then we'll go to Alex. Which one draws you most into the pair into this into the Boonkey Trail? What do you think leads into it the best? What's your primary story?
Ooh, primary story. Okay, that's a interesting one to answer because when you said that, I immediately thought of like, first of all, each individual characters of the main four struggles, and which would be the easiest way to dive into that. But I can't really do that because I can't really mention one character's like uh development and progression throughout the film without mentioning another character. So what I will say, to boil it down in terms of legends, can I have two different answers? Cool, cool. Um, so I'll say, in terms of like the spirits, I'd say the Buhag, because that particular story is based on something that really happened to me, and that moment, like when I may or may not have had an encounter with something, has always like really, I always was on the back of my mind. I knew I wanted to do something with it because one time when I was a kid, like I just had like a real weird, almost sleep paralysis type moment at my grandma's house where we at right now, and yeah, that was a major thing that I knew I had to incorporate. Um, and then other than that, it's not really like a legend, but I say like the one thing that really draws me into the story is just the amount that Charleston is changing, and it's a lot. It's different than it was even 10 years ago, let alone 20, 30. And that's across the whole low country. It's a lot of outsiders moving in, kind of trying to like change the culture, and like a lot of these stories is being erased. So I feel like one thing I really want the story to do is to shine light on like what actually is Charleston and the low country.
Alex, you're up.
Alex, you're up.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as I go, I got to have a little bias here. Dante, fortunately, gave me the role of the Colonel, which is sort of this play on the haunting of the Dock Street Theater by a former actor there who just so happens to be John Wilkes Booth's father. And I find it a very interesting piece of Charleston's history, not only because, the connection to John Wilkes Booth, but it's like it just goes to show how deep the city of Charleston is and how, I wouldn't say unspoken, but unknown a lot of the history, the folklore, and the stories are. So just getting to go back in time and play someone who obviously had a great role on history, even as a derivative, but here locally has, his own stories and legends. And I think it's just a great sort of quick generalization of how Dante's story gets to take a lot of, the lesser known of the Low Country, the lesser known of the folklore, the lesser known of the different cultures around Charleston, and bringing that to light. And then it gets to show the world how connected and how similar and how easy it is to, I would say, put yourself in the shoes of some of the stories and the people that are here.
I find it really interesting you bring up the Colonel because I completely forgot about the Colonel until you just mentioned him. And I have sat down and talked with the synopsis of this film over with you guys. But the Colonel is based on a very little known legend. Everybody knows who John Wilkes Booth is. Everybody knows he's the man that shot Abraham Lincoln. What a lot of people don't realize is that John Wilkes Booth wasn't much more than an actor before this moment. He was an actor. His father was an actor. He came from an acting family, and his father famously died here in Charleston at the Dock Street Theater. And that death, of course, was overshadowed by the actions of his son a few decades later. So it's really a huge tie-in to not only the history of South Carolina, but the history of Charleston and how deep rooted it is into the history of America itself. So I'm really glad that you brought that story up because it is an exceptional way that you guys have tied in all of these myths and legends into what this movie is going to be. What are some hills you guys are trying to get over right now? Because you're going into production, what, in September?
August 23rd, and like in the weeks leading up to that, rehearsals and table reads and all of that. So kind of even closer, but yeah, going in pretty soon.
Yeah, so, some of the obstacles that we've been facing recently, most recently we filled in our last lead actress. Isabella Durham has been cast as Iris. And so that's very exciting for us to have an actress who's, in California, in the film industry, has a little bit of experience there, but is also extremely willing just to come out here and, put herself in a different environment and help us out. As far as Atomicon goes, like I said, just connecting with a bunch of people. We get to meet so many talented individuals, and we've been looking for some serious crew roles, but really for people that have professional experience as far as sound engineers and designers, colorists, makeup artists, costume designers. Yeah. And prop masters, stuff like that. And so we get to sit in on some different panels and listen to different people talk, and it was great because Dante and I kept looking back and forth at each other like, oh my gosh, like they just said the perfect thing of what we've been deliberating about over the last few months between Dante, I, and Jake. And that's been extremely exciting. And then as far as the rest of it goes, we're still looking for any sponsors who want to get a tax write-off and help out with a movie, get to be on set, enjoy themselves, have a credit and all that stuff, establish themselves with us and with the Charleston film community, and also have investment opportunities where 33% of the film is open to purchase, and you can own the rights to that for the remainder of forever and receive royalties and stuff. So all kinds of good stuff there. And the great thing about it is the state of South Carolina is extremely generous with their film commission. They give 25% back immediately. So let's just say worst case scenario, we only made back 75% of what we spent on the movie. We break even and everyone walks away a movie happier.
And just be a part of
That's great news.
Great news.
Yeah. And like I said, just be a part of one of the greatest films of its generation. I mean, somebody had to jump on the board when they read Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. You would have never expected him to be where he at today. And like every single all-time great needed that person to really like hop off the porch and take a leap of faith on them. And if you want to be a part of that and what's something that's going to be remembered forever in film history, then this is the right project for you.
And I couldn't agree with you guys more. This is definitely the right project for somebody who's listening right now who wants to get in on the ground floor or something. These guys are looking to work with people here locally in the Charleston area for the Boonkey Trail. They've actually even invited me, lowly old me, to come down there and meddle in their affairs throughout, which is awesome because this is basically a movie about all the ghost stories that I tell.
You out on set, man. Come on, man. Knew that had to happen.
Yeah, you guys are making a movie about my ghost stories, basically.
Well, hey, we might even be making a movie about your stories, from what I hear.
Yeah.
That is true. Just something to throw out there. Dante is reading Redcoats, my book, and we are discussing working that out and optioning that out. Redcoats is coming out as an audio book in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, or at least within the next month. And now it looks like it's going to be a script, and me, Dante, and Alex are going to be murdering a group of teenagers in Georgetown at some point in time very soon.
All down in Georgetown.
Hey, gotta spread the love to all sorts of South Carolina, all areas of the Low Country, man. And it's a phenomenal story. It's really fun. It's made for a horror movie.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really is. Like it's the fact that it can blend in like that classic like teen horror kind of genre, but it's also like it don't really remind me of nothing else. Like, because I feel like it takes so many different tropes from different horror films and like kind of blends them together in a way that I ain't really seen before. So, I am excited to take a crack at that.
Next, I'm going to have to write one in Myrtle Beach to drag Alex's neck of the woods in.
That'd be awesome, man. I cannot wait. We don't get enough love down in Dirty Myrtle. It's a bad rap.
I know you was talking about like the carnival type thing, the what was it? Amusement park. It needs to be something like that.
Magic. It was. It's not Magic Kingdom. It was
Family Kingdom.
Family Kingdom.
Yeah, we still have Family Kingdom there, and then there's a couple rides, but they don't have what you said.
Magic Harbor.
That had to be before I was born.
Oh, yeah, dude, this was like 1980s.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And like you could even like create your own one and like loosely base it on that. Like you could really do whatever you want.
Yeah. I think we're gonna do the Nightmare theme park for Myrtle Beach. That's what we're doing, Alex.
That's
cool. Exciting. No, it's actually funny because I don't know if you guys remember, but like growing up in Myrtle Beach, we had the Hard Rock theme park they tried to start over there, and then it turned into freestyle. Everything got shut down. We had the pavilion at one point, you know what I mean? And then that was so fun. And then when I was like 4, it was gone. You know what I mean? And I still have memories of the log flume there and all that stuff. And I think just being like that classic touristy beach, man, if we could throw it back to the 80s, pre-social media, get some of the old lights in there, some of old Surfside Beach, Myrtle Beach and all that stuff, have a little that. It's like Dante said with Redcoats. That's kind of like your teen horror thing, your historical horror. It's very fun. This is that like summer blockbuster horror thing, man, and it's, dude, like I'm so excited for the future. We could not have bet anybody better, man. Thank you, Jonathan. It's awesome.
I'm glad to have met you guys. I'm glad to be working with you guys. And it's the Boonkey Trail. Hang on, I'm going to meet you guys again so I can fight the echo. It's the Boonkey Trail. It's going to be filming starts in August right here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's written and directed by Dante Brown. Alex here is the producer. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be getting back with these guys in September during production to do another bit of stories with them, about it. So make sure you're ready to check that out. Guys, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at DEND as in dog, ENTYNE _3. Dentine, like the gum, _3. And then you can also follow the movie's Instagram, the Boonkey Trail, the Boon Boonkey Boonkey Trail.
And then you can find me at Montino81, so Montinho81. And then on YouTube, we have a film podcast that we were pretty busy with before we got serious about making another movie. And that's called The Three-Headed Dragon, where you guys might get to meet and get a little bit more of an idea of our third personality, the third head of the dragon, Jake Clancy. So that's on YouTube at Stained Glass Mosaic Productions under Three-Headed Dragon. And obviously, this is the Carolina Storyteller. How do you guys not know what this is? Throw it out everywhere.
Thank you guys so much for being here. Alex, thanks for that shout out. This has been the Carolina Storyteller, folks. Remember, you can support this show as well as my other show, Valmont, the Black Raven Chronicles, by going over to patreon.com/The Carolina Storyteller. You can get all your up-to-date episodes, ad-free episodes. You'll get to see video episodes, which means you get to see these two lovely guys with this ugly mug while we were talking about this. Find out all you can about the upcoming movie, The Boonkey Trail, all kinds of stuff over at patreon.com/The Carolina Storyteller. For Dante and Alex, I am Jonathan Phoenix. And as always, stay spooky, my friends. We'll see you next time.